If you've ever struggled with gut health issues that seem to come back no matter what you try, you are definitely not alone. And the problem? Well, it might not be the microbes themselves, but where they're hiding. Today, we're going to explore a concept that could be the missing piece in your health puzzle. These things called gut biofilms.
So, here's our game plan. We'll start with why symptoms keep coming back. Then we'll get into what biofilms actually are and why they matter so much. After that, we'll look at a whole new strategy for gut health, and we'll finish up with a much more hopeful way to think about restoring your body's natural balance.
All right, let's just dive right in. So many people know that frustration of trying a treatment that seems to work for a little while, only to have the same old problems creep right back in.
Sound familiar? It's that exhausting loop of feeling better for a bit and then, boom, you're right back where you started. It can make you feel like you're doing something wrong or that nothing is ever going to work. And I just want to say, it's an incredibly common and really disheartening experience.
Well, what if the reason these issues are so stubborn isn't because the microbes are so strong, but because they're smart? They're not just floating around out in the open. They've actually built themselves a fortress to hide in, which makes them much, much harder to deal with.
So, what is this hidden fortress?
This is exactly where the idea of a biofilm comes into play. Let's break down what that word actually means in simple terms.
Okay, so don't think of a biofilm as just a random pile of microbes. It's more like a highly organized, coordinated city. The little inhabitants all work together to build this protective, kind of slimy shield around themselves. And that shield is what protects them from everything on the outside. To really get a picture of this in your head, just think about the plaque on your teeth, right? That sticky film is a perfect everyday example of a biofilm. It's literally protecting bacteria from your toothbrush and mouthwash. Well, a very similar thing can happen deep inside our gut, creating this physical shield that protects microbes from antibiotics and even from our own immune system. And this is not some rare, unusual thing. According to the National Institutes of Health, up to 80% of human bacterial infections are linked to biofilms. That's a huge number, and it's one of the main reasons why so many chronic infections are just so incredibly hard to get rid of for good.
Okay, so we know what they are, but how does this fortress actually affect your gut? Why does it matter so much when we're talking about chronic issues like bloating or gas or that frustrating brain fog?
The number one impact of these biofilms is persistence. That's the key word here. A treatment might come in and clear out all the free-floating microbes, and you feel better for a while. But because a small, protected population survives inside that fortress, they can just regrow as soon as the treatment stops. This explains that frustrating cycle of symptoms coming back perfectly.
And here's the crucial thing. This isn't just a theory. They can actually see these things. In one major study, researchers doing colonoscopies saw these visible kind of yellow-green layers in over half of the patients with IBS. But in the healthy group, they hardly saw them at all. So knowing all this, it kind of changes how we need to think about things, right? If the problem is a fortress, just sending in soldiers to fight in the fields outside the walls isn't going to solve the root issue. The old approach just doesn't quite cut it.
And you can really see the difference here. The standard approach, it targets the microbes out in the open. And yeah, that can give you some temporary relief, but it can't get past the biofilm's defenses. A biofilm-aware strategy is different. It's smarter. The first step is to gently weaken that protective shield, which then lets you address the real source of the problem.
And this, right here, is such an important idea to let sink in. If you've been struggling with these kinds of issues, it does not mean you didn't try hard enough. It might just mean the strategy you were using wasn't designed to see this hidden piece of the puzzle.
So, what does a more empowering, a smarter approach actually look like? Well, the goal isn't just destruction. It's about creating an environment where the body's natural balance can actually thrive again.
This is a much more holistic view. It all starts with the gut environment itself. Supporting something called gut motility, that's just the natural, wave-like movement that keeps things flowing, is absolutely key. See, stagnant conditions are the perfect breeding ground for these biofilms. Then comes that gentle disruption piece. And finally, there's resilience. This is huge. It acknowledges the role of our nervous system. When we're stressed, it can literally slow down our gut motility, creating the exact stagnant conditions that biofilms love.
And the science on this is really exciting. Researchers are exploring all kinds of new tools to support this smarter approach. Now, these are not protocols, they're just areas of research. They're looking at specific enzymes that can help dissolve that slimy protective matrix. They're studying compounds that interrupt quorum sensing, which is basically how the bacteria talk to each other to coordinate their defenses. It's like cutting their communication lines. And they're even looking at things like bacteriophages, specialized viruses that only target specific bacteria to help get through that shield.
And this is a really big shift in how we look at this whole thing. Biofilms aren't inherently evil. They are a natural survival strategy that microbes use when they're under stress. So the goal isn't to wage this huge war and eradicate them completely. It's to change the environment so that a healthy, balanced ecosystem can be restored.
Ultimately, learning about biofilms isn't meant to be one more thing to worry about. Far from it. It's meant to be a source of hope. It offers a new lens to look at your health journey through, one that invites curiosity instead of frustration. Because if you felt stuck, it doesn't mean you're broken. It might just mean that a really important piece of the puzzle has been overlooked. And maybe, just maybe, that missing piece isn't a stronger treatment, but a smarter strategy.